Hey everybody, how you doing? Good afternoon. My name is Arn Alamand, and this is Ground Zero for Alchemy Bladeworks. I wanted to take a second, come on and introduce myself, and say hi, give you a little bit of feedback about what I'm trying to accomplish here, kind of where I'm coming from, and how I want to be able to provide for you. First of all, I'm a high school teacher, chemistry teacher, and so when I came up with the name Alchemy Bladeworks and Alchemy, it really tied into and tapped into what I feel as a chemistry guy and a sciencey guy of what it's like, to take a piece of raw steel, right? 8670 right here with the dog hair, and to heat it and, form it and turn it into something that's a workable tool. That to me is amazing. Again, I think it's important that you understand where I'm coming from with this. And for me, I love building and creating. When I was in high school, I was building and creating. I was a ski racer, and it was like I wanted all the things, but we couldn't afford all the things. And so one of the things that I wanted shin guards. So I started forming my own shin guards. I would heat the plastic up in the oven as a 16-year-old kid. I'd cut it out. I'd shape it to my shins and my ski boots. I'd sew on straps, have my mom help with that. And then I wore them, and they were rad. Like, they were so freaking good. And friends that I raced with, they're like, I want those. Masters racers, they're like, I want those. And so it's kind of fun. It was really neat. As a 16-year-old kid, I was like, wow, not only am I meeting my needs, but I'm also helping others. That was really cool. As an adult, I haven't stopped loving the journey of making things. This is actually one of two rods that I made. And I have a habit of making my very first thing that I make is often for a family member or friend. Actually, I take that back. This is number two. You know how I know? Because right from the start, I serialized these. So I ended up making, I think I just said I made two, but I ended up making about, I think I've got 16, maybe 20 bamboo rods out and about. A lot of them with my own family, probably half dozen to 10 of them at various stages of completion, like this one right here. This is a sweetheart that I just didn't finish. My kids are 15 and 16 years old, and so 15, 16 years ago, I made my last rod. It was a commissioned piece. It was a set for a guy and his best friend. They always fish together. And so I created those for them. But here's what's fun, right from the start. Like, I created a serial number system so that I could number everything. I wanted these to be things that could be cherished and handed down. Created my own wrap, right? And so, and just the little details like translucent wraps, right? This is silk, Pearsall's thread, agate guides, hand finished ferrules. These are all things that, as I was creating these, first off, as I said, the second one I ever made was for my wife, who'd never fly fished at the time. And so took her out to a local river, starts with an O, ends in he, just west of my home here in Boise, Idaho. Finished this rod in '05. And Nikki, my wife, caught her first ever trout on this. In fact, it was such an epic day that when I took her to one of our blue ribbon fisheries here in Idaho, the South Fork of the Boise River, where they're pigs, they're footballs, right? I took her there one day to fish. She did catch a fish, but she was like, why isn't this any good? And I'm like, it's actually a pretty good day, babe. And the reason is because the first time we went out on this cloudy day, there were March browns coming off. They were like size 14, just huge bugs, right? And she pulled in, I think, 6 fish. Her first one was 16 inches. Her second one was 18 inches. She caught a 22-inch fish on that day, all on the rod that I made. Absolutely epic. And those are the kinds of things that I love. And so this journey into blade making and knife making is something that has been on my heart for a long time. Like, I as a little kid, I did these, and just like any little kid, you start sharpening sticks, right? And I remember some friends and we actually found some rocks that we could chip away, and we made things out of flint. A couple of years ago, this is kind of how I started. I don't know if you can see the rough outline on there, but I'm like, well, people say that you can make these knives out of files, and I'm like, I'm gonna make a knife out of a file. And I got this far, and then I, talking to my dad, and he's like, well, that's gonna be really hard to grind. And he's like, you need to heat treat it and, probably soften it. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? And so finally, I was like, enough's enough. Like, I'm not getting more time in life. I need to do the things that matter most. I need to do the things that are on my heart. And if this is something that I want to do to create for others, then I need to do and create it so that when I'm gone, there is something to pass on. There's a memory, there's a piece. And so I started doing, and just kind of jumped in head first. And that's really, I think, one of the coolest things about this. Like, a lot of times I think we're afraid to start, and we don't know what we're capable of until we start. And so that's what I want with this channel, is I want to be able to share with you my journey. So, being able to like commission friends. I've got a couple of knives going out actually in the next couple of weeks to pay off a debt to some friends who helped me weld up this this grinder. Now, I've got a grizzly grinder. My dad passed down to me because he used to be a wood carver. I don't know if you can see it up here, but Cowboys, Critters, and such. He's in the Wood Carvers Hall of Fame. Absolutely phenomenal artist, and so that's like a neat piece of my heritage and lineage, right? But going beyond that, he had held on to a couple of his tools. And so when I started this, I'm like, hey, Dad, what's back there in the corner, And so we dust off all this stuff, and I'm like, let's go for it. And so this is how I started. And I just started with belts that he had hanging that were probably 15 years old, And so I've upgraded, and it's been fun. It's been fun to bring friends into the journey that have skills in areas that I don't, like welding, for instance. I'm like, I could weld it, but it ain't gonna be very pretty. And so my buddy Eric Patterson, amazing dude, and we spent, I got everything fit, and then we spent 2 days welding everything up. And honestly, like, if you're not familiar with the house-made product, I know there's some other options out there that are pre-made. They're probably coming about the same price as this without some of the attachments, but let's just put it this way. I made it, my kids know I made it, I know I made it, and it kicks ass. Like, it absolutely works like a dream. The tracking is great, and I love it. I love the fact that I did that, and I didn't mind the time it took to do it because it made me better at the other things that I want to do. It's kind of fun, right? So that's part of the journey, I made a whole series of kitchen knives for family and friends for Christmas this year. I was up till midnight on Christmas Eve, and I was actually out the morning of Christmas trying to calculate when everybody was going to get up so I could put the final finishing touches on. So suffice to say, those were a little rushed, and so they're not quite as pretty or as finished as some of the stuff we're putting out now. But you know what? It's a ton of fun. There is a piece of me in everything that I do, and I really like that. And so that's what this is all about. And so as I move through, yes, do we make knives for people? Absolutely. I have a commission piece that I'm working on right now for a friend, and I'm going to share that journey as that kicks up this week, where we're going to be putting on a set of mammoth ivory scales on this hunting knife. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. So I want to tie you into that journey. I've got a number of hunting and skinning knives I'm going to be doing at the same time. So I'm going to do my ordering a little bit different on them and kind of batch them together. And I think that might be kind of cool for somebody to see. I by no means have all the answers. In fact, I am watching YouTube every day. I am Googling every day, learning, seeing what other people have done, comparing techniques, and then thinking, let's try that. For instance, putting in a hamon. This knife, you can't really see it right now, and there's a little oxidation on there, but there is a faint hamon. You can kind of see it coming through, and I'm by no means done. I just got my rough bevels. It has been heat treated. I got my rough bevels in. A little water that didn't get wiped off, and a little oxidation is all clean up. But you can see maybe a little better from that side. A little hamon coming in there. So I'm really hopeful that when I do my final on this, and then we etch it, that it looks like I think it's gonna. But again, I think it's beautiful, right? I'm not doing any Sanmai or any Damascus yet, so I'm like, well, let's try this hamon. So this is a kitchen knife that I'm actually doing for my wife. I got her a Benchmade station knife for Christmas 2 years ago, and because she's a professional chef, and she absolutely loves it, and I love it, but I think we can improve on it. So anyway, I borrowed the basic shape, and this is going to be hers. I don't have my scales out here, but I'm using an ancient bog oak. So it's a very dark gray scale with black micarta liner, 2 white bands on each side with that micarta right in the middle. We're going to do black micarta pins is what I'm planning on right now. they're cross-cut, so we'll have the grain going opposite what the grain is on this. But point being, I'm going to give this one a shot with the Hamon as well. And there's a lot of people that say with 8670 that you can't put a Hamon on it. But there's a gentleman that I came across that does a really nice job on YouTube with some of his tutorials, and he's like, I did it. And this is what he did. And so I'm excited to tie in. Honestly, like the wire around it, I've never seen anybody do that until I saw it from him. But there's a reason behind it to help keep all of this together so it doesn't go into your quench. So anyway, really excited. It's things like this I want to be able to share, right? And I know, again, as a teacher, I know how important it is to have mentors, to have different viewpoints. And I know that we don't all connect with the same person. And so that's why I'm here as well. And if I'm able to help and make a connection with you and you with me, then let's do it. That's really what it's all about. So with that said, I've been busy this morning. I also, I've got a few things going on, right? But I'm also a fitness coach, and so I spent the morning doing some programming, just got back from a little run, and now it's time to get out here and put some final touches on these. Everything's heat treated over here, so we're just working on getting those bevels in right now, and we'll get the scales all fitted up perfect. This guy's kind of fun. I posted a picture of this the other day, but again, another bog oak on the rear. We've got a jade micarta in the front liner, and then orange G10 liner on the inside. You can see the band right there, getting a little detail. You can see the white on each side. This is green, and then I'm trying to decide on my colors for my pins, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be good. So that is kind of where we're going, guys. And this one was kind of fun. I don't know that you need to have a tool that does everything, but I'm like, how freaking cool would it be on this kind of everyday, kind of multi-purpose knife to have a bottle opener on the back? And so I angled it out, lightly tested pre-heat treat, and put a little grip on there, clear out some space on that handle so it doesn't chip, and I'll be damned. It works great. So creativity, it's like you're limited just by what you can imagine. And man, I tell you what, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. So if you're here, I know you're here for the right reasons. I know you're here because you're curious, you've got something to give, you got something that you want to learn. And so I really hope that you'll tie in, give me some feedback, ask me questions. What questions, what things do you want to learn more about? I hope that we can create some community within this page. So thank you so much for tying in. Hey, whatever adventures you're on today, do them well. I always love to think about that. Just give back, be 100% vested in what you're doing, be creative, and have fun. So you guys have a wonderful day. Be ready for more coming back next week. Again, going to be talking about the build as I start to batch this next set of hunters and skinners, and especially that mammoth scale blade from my buddy. I'm gonna be sharing that journey with you. So be ready. That one's gonna be a fingers crosser, because man, it's an amazing piece. But I'll tell you more about that as we come around. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.